There's a story in Bret Hart's book about your dad supposedly getting into some sort of fight with Bad News Brown at a WWE taping when they were going to bring your dad in and I guess give him a regular job in WWE. Could I get your version of what happened there?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened there. My dad told me exactly what happened on it. What happened is it was basically Bad News supposedly got word that my stepmother, Pat, had said something to his wife. And I think Mike Shaw, Moccasin, instigated it towards Bad News, got Bad News hot. He went to go talk to Dad and wanted to talk to my mom, my stepmother. And my dad was pretty much like, what do you got to talk to her about? And he says, I want to talk to her. And Dad said, well, whatever you can say to her, you can just tell me. And Bad News said, I want to talk to her. Dad said, no, you're not going to talk to my wife. And then all of a sudden, Bad News judo chopped Dad in the throat. Well, my dad, being a kid in Puerto Rico, raised in the streets, they carried knives. And so my dad pulled a knife out and cut Bad News. And then Bad News pulled a knife out and cut my dad. And they ended up in basically a knife fight in the parking lot. The boys had to pull them apart. That's what that whole thing was about. Was supposedly my stepmother supposedly said something which wasn't true. I asked my stepmother about it before she passed away when I was up there in Stampede and Can-Am Wrestling Federation. I asked her about it, and I believe her. She never said nothing. She's not that kind of woman, that would say something, about somebody and not. If she didn't like you, she would tell you, but she was the kind of person that liked everybody. And that's what basically was over. And Vince wanted to bring Dad in, and he was using him on the house shows and the dark matches too on TV because he wanted to bring him in to face Hulk Hogan and be one of the opponents for Hulk Hogan. But when that happened, Dad told Vince that he wasn't going to, he didn't, no thanks. He wasn't going to go. And then Vince, told him that he'll take care of whatever the problem was. And pretty much Vince just got rid of Bad News. And that caused the heat to be more on between Dad and Bad News Brown, Bad News Allen in Canada. And so, Dad just said, well, he just wasn't going to go because, he didn't want Vince to get rid of Bad News either. And, it was that heat stood until 2000. And when I was in the hallway to Ogden Legion there on TV taping, and Bad News was the other host of the commentary with Mark. And he come out, he saw me, his eyes got real big when he saw me because I looked identical to Dad, and I had the Satanicus mask off. And so I was like, man, I don't want to be in the middle of this. So I just went straight to him. And the boys followed me. I guess they thought it was going to be a fight. I wasn't going for no fight. I just went to Bad News and I said, I just want to thank you, sir, and introduce myself. I'm Richie Acevedo, Angel's son. I just want to thank you for what you've done for the business, for the boys. And I just want you to know whatever heat's between you and Dad is between you and Dad. I'm a totally different man. I'm just here to work, and I'm not here to be any problems for you. And he's like, no, man, I'm glad you come to talk to me. He goes, how's your dad doing? I said, he's doing good. He goes, no, man, I think you're a great wrestler. No heat, brother. It's all done. He goes, you should have your dad come down sometime to the show. So I talked to Dad, and Dad came down, and he was kind of leery, but him and Bad News went off, and I was getting worried myself. And I went and looked, and on the bar, the pub side of the Ogden Legion there, Dad and Bad News over there having drinks and laughing and like nothing ever happened. So the heat was gone. And, but that's what that was all about. It was supposedly over something my stepmother's supposed to said about Bad News' wife, but that never happened. That's just something supposedly Moccasin instigated. I don't know the situation, and he's not here to really ask that question to, but that's the version I got from my dad.
So if it wasn't for that WWE altercation they had, your dad probably would have had more of a run there.
Oh, my dad would have gotten a run probably with Hogan.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.